excuse for that. I don't know how to plug in things. So imagine being the person giving the non-technical speech after all of that. However, I do think this is important because if we're building all of these amazing things and nobody ever sees them, then that's a problem. Also, I realized hearing about half of your wikis and your different titles that most of you don't want your wikis seen because they're all in Department of Defense departments and government things. So there's something for you too. Just do the opposite of everything I say. And I can guarantee you they will not be found. And if that fails, any mention of cats or things of that nature within your wiki should also be moving on. So this is kind of structured, assuming a wiki's already built. Low-hanging fruit, quick things that we can do to fix it. There's framework and community options for intensive updates. This is usually going page by page by page, or contacting other owners of wikis, or having to actually work on the links that are coming to your site. These are easier to implement before you build the wiki and have a coherent strategy for doing it. But seeing as nobody actually does that, that's why it's harder to do. And then SMW specific SEO. This goes down to some semantic tagging, framework limitations, some services to go through. And we built it and almost nobody came. I came from a phone call by Dr. Greaves and he was he was trying to convince Enterprise to let me SEO their site. So this has been a little bit of the work up to that and the test case. Now, our current SEO strategy, it is apparently build great things and link to Nintendo franchises. This puzzled me because there is genuine interest in the semantic web and products built using the technology stack. And it's not just us. There are hundreds and hundreds of publications across the internet where people are directly asking, where is a product that uses a semantic web? How does it work? Can you point out a website that only does it? So we started with semantic web. This led to Web 3.0 through Web 7.0. If you've ever been on LinkedIn and you're in a public semantic group, you know you get a lot of requests for Web 3.0, Web 4.0, Web 5.0 and up. I think they're just trying to jump really quick. And then we started linking each other with SMW, not realizing Super Mario World already had that title, and it has had it for about 18 years. So the chances of ever usurping them with SMW are zero. On to that, we decided to link each other on Wikipedia in the semantic articles. Those all have no follow tags, so Google doesn't care. It's good that you get credit on your Wikipedia article for inventing something, but the search engine will never look at that and follow it. Then we decided to put all of our RDF feeds on Google. Those got indexed, and when looked at in Firefox, they are massive blocks of text nobody can actually interpret. After that, we started cross-linking each other on the MediaWiki sites with the term SMW extension. So all of our sites are called SMW extension, according to Google. Then we just gave up in hopes to profit. Unrealized. And this does not make sense because there is genuine interest in the semantic web and products using the related technology stack. How do I know that? Because there's zero competition for semantic wiki, semantic media wiki, all of our editing things, and all of these keywords are actually given by Google. So people are searching for these things. And when you see these competition bars, only one person has even bothered to even compete on what is semantic web. And something tells me that is what is Learn Semantic Web in 21 Days, one of those books that have to actually purchase that stuff. And by ignoring that list, we lose 380,000 monthly searches with zero to little competition. So basically, every time somebody searches for that, the person that either owns a domain with semantic media wiki or semantic web in it comes up first. And that's only because of lack of trying. They got lucky. They picked their domain. So how to fix this? First, consolidate your domains. The longer you're on the internet, more domains you collect. It is not good to have 20 domains going to one framework. That's actually a problem because Google knows, so does Yahoo and all the search engines, that it is on one server and one framework. And when all those domains coming in, it makes you look like a link farmer, and those guys are heavily penalized. So first, we get rid of all of our top-level domains. This is a HT access file. We're rerouting a second level domain to our regular domain. Then we'll collect all of our subdomains. Now, MediaWiki has a weird installation that a lot of people go by where they'll keep it in its own folder with its index.php. We have an index.php sitting at base domain just because we can't fix it. We're already indexed with our subdirectory. So you want a 200 redirect to your directory saying, no, I'm here, you found me, but take one more step. And for all of your configuration files, add 301 redirects. These are all the different server configurations that can be looked for. And here's even an example of an old installation being put to your new one. Now, most of you think I don't have these, but if you were to go to Google Webmasters or Yahoo Site Explorer or any of those links, you will see pages and pages and pages of old installations and old URLs on your domain that have been indexed to this. All of these need corrected that way because they're either getting no content dings, 404 dings, or it's just referencing old installations that are probably broken by now. So that's important to get all that stuff thrown back into your regular domain. The rules. Now, I call this page a little apathy hurts a lot of PageRank because everybody knows this stuff or a version of this stuff, and almost nobody does it. So this is more of a rules page for distribution after this talk. I will send it out to the mailing list. But there's a couple things I want to point out. Unique per page. When that's mentioned, that's important. Probably nobody can do that easily, but another slide will have an idea to get that running. Secondly, sentences can be semi-legible. Try to keyword your sentences into semi-legible phrases. You don't need all the is's or a's or those or articles, but saying, you know, Semantic MediaWiki Enterprise, or A Enterprise Semantic MediaWiki, that does help. Finally, H3s through H6s. Use those if you have H1s and H2s. H1s and H2s are good for menus, they're good for denoting section heads, and with H3s and H6s, it adds more context for the search engine. If you do not have H1s and H2s, the search engine will not care about H3 through H6. Why is this important when everybody knows this? Because everybody thinks it's important. This is one of the lead tracking agencies, Optify.net. They're a Seattle-based startup. He lets me use his service for free. In exchange, I don't go to startup meetings and heckle him. So, and this is what was said about the site. Almost everything related to a core issue had to do with robots, titles, descriptions, H1 tags missing, a single H1 tag, a single version of your website being indexed. All of those are the top things that mean the most for impact in search engines. So robots, spiders, and black holes. MediaWiki by yes?
Good question. On MediaWiki syntax, equals, title equals, is equivalent to an H1 for this purpose?
The one
What are we looking for?
previous.
H1 is a, no, back to your, right there. You're talking about the H1 tag. To me, that means less than H1 greater than.
Oh, this
We're
page.
talking MediaWiki syntax.
This is actually complaining. It wants me to put more H1s on the page within the body. It is confused about a single H1 tag being there. It means I'm giving the page too much context and it wants sectioning.
But when you say H1, you're referring to the
Oh yes, the header
markup,
tags.
right?
Yes, the header tags.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about the final HTML markup here, right?
Yeah.
Not the media we have.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I should have clarified that. I'll do better when I talk about anchors in HTML. So, due to MediaWiki by design, we're going to lose a ton of search ranking without robots, spiders, and black holes fixed. Because MediaWiki is completely complex because of two things. It's transaction-based, and anybody anywhere can edit it and add stuff to it. This basically means a wiki is technically the size of a human vocabulary, and 99% of it is duplicate content of edit and create pages. On top of that, when we actually agree on something, page transactions create hundreds of history logs. And then on top of that, people can ignore all of this and come in through special pages and custom functionality, which are just inappropriate for entrance. They can skip over all of the figuring out the vocabulary, adding to it, by just jumping into a special page, like a search for a term that was accidentally indexed, and you'll end up pretty much staring at a create page that you should have filtered out. These facts left unaddressed will be heavily on your search, mostly because they'll have 404s and duplicate content, and Google and Yahoo and Bing take those very seriously. So, we fix this with the robots.txt file. Everybody usually includes one, and all it has is that in it, user agent star. That does not work for MediaWikis. First, we want to get rid of our bug tracking systems and code repositories. Nobody needs to know that a revision, we fixed something within MediaWiki. That's unnecessary for 90% of the searches. Plus, turning that off makes you stop being a tech manual for Google. I know it helps when we're looking for tech manual stuff to fix, but unless you just want a bunch of traffic like that on your domain that eats server time and you tell people how to build the internet, then that gets rid of that. Second, get rid of your logging. We don't care about logs. I don't think anybody really cares that a search engine knows somebody got rolled back. Get rid of editing and WYSIWYG panes. We have red link equals 1 and the SMW plus build. This is for a specialty version of red linking, which actually looks into the Semantic triple store and pulls up some facts. The problem with that is a lot of things don't actually have facts, so we just come up with this bare table. WYSIWYG editors, form, edit, annotate. This comes from Semantic Forms. This comes from WYSIWYG editing. And depending on how you have your wiki configured, any of those could come up. All of those are duplicate content, which do nothing. History and talk pages. I'm of the opinion not much important is said in wiki talks that the search engines need to care about. Even Wikipedia bans its talk pages from search because they're just debating and screaming about what goes on a vegan article or something. And finally, special pages. We don't need search, we don't need version, we don't need user login. An interesting one, I saw somebody was running a PHP accelerator and their special page got indexed. That shouldn't be there. You could even go farther to ban all special pages, but I did see that we had special export RDF and those can be used for some forms. We should probably mask that through a secondary domain or secondary HT access line. On top of that, media, alt, and title attributes. This is actually moving more in difficulty because people usually have their sites pretty well assembled, and people rarely add alt and title tags. So seeing things like this gets rare and hard to do across. But search engines made it because everybody was cloaking and keyword cramming and causing problems. Search engines made the mistake of assuming the internet cares about screen readers and text browsers. So that's why the whole file naming and alting and titling came into it, because they put context on what the page has by what's linked on it and how it's named. However, this mistake can be exploited in a positive way by actually caring about screen readers and text browsers. This one is really hard. File names should describe the contents, and they should be named before they're uploaded. So that means a lot of our files are unusable, because it's especially hard when users are contributing to them. On top of that, alt tag should be a normalized file name, which is difficult for wikis just because almost nobody uses the alt functionality when including images and pages. And then there's also the title, and that gives us this nice little deal. That should be describing the section that this is linking through. And there's actually a problem with that try all link. Try out, even this could be a good page. The search engine only sees it as called try out, and we're linking to ourselves through this. Which brings us to, where was the last street sign reading go here? This is a problem. Living in Seattle, we have lots of street signs that are like 30th and 30th Southwest, or get out of your car and start walking. So we're used to these kind of signs, but on the internet, Google actually gets really confused when you're internally linking through your sites with 1 words and 2 words, click here's and go here's, and find me and search. They should be expanded a little bit. And pages will be ranked higher if keywords used in anchors match their titles. So on our tryout, this could be fixed by just putting tryout SMW plus. Because then the search engine has better context on what it's trying out. It also has the product name, and I'm sure SMW and SMW plus are included in the title of that page. And when creating new wiki articles, take into account the article name. This is very difficult. A lot of people with very active wikis will end up moving a lot of their articles and 301ing them just to get better names. Because users don't usually care. They're a little too literal. Here's an example of a lot of the pages that we renamed and anchor texted throughout our site. As you can see, we basically took our page title and disassembled a couple of keywords out of it to better explain what we're linking through. These are really good for download pages, online stores, actually any kind of download be this precise, because those are generally the pages we're trying to get people to link to, or at least search engines. And finally, consistent in links to your wiki. When I say in link, I mean a website linking you. This is where you have to talk to people and come to conferences and beg them to correct your link and hope they're using a wiki so you can correct it yourself. Same rules apply to the end links as the internal anchors between pages and sections. Your title, hopefully they will use some keywords of your title to link back to you, or at least put the words Semantic and MediaWiki in there. That helps. Links that attribute the no follow, they're not followed. They really mean no follow. No search engine follows those links. So everybody wanting linked in CNN, they use no follow. Everybody going to wikipedia.com, they use no follow. Any of the...
.org.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they own the .com.
They do.
Thank you. And news sites are, and lesser known search portals. All the Yandexes, image searches, they'll all toss up the no follows too. Which kind of makes it a waste of time to even try to get your images on Google image search, because you're basically just wasting a bunch of traffic and bandwidth. Finally, Google PageRank. That's that little bar that you see at the top of your browser, telling you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is heavily based on sites playing by the rules and how many are linking to you. I don't think my computer is configured to actually show it, but when you get here, you'll see a chart that roughly guesstimates how many end links you have to get and the quality of them for your rank to go up 0 through 10. So that's an important link to go through. And then buying in links. All over the internet, you see $99 for 500 links on PR5 sites. That is probably a lie. Buying in links is risky, and many agencies selling you that number of links for a price, they're just dumping them on low-ranked blogs, or they own the link farm that's doing it, and they'll be put out of business. Well, they're probably ready to either disassemble the farm, or they're just waiting for it to get banned to build another one. Now, consistent outlinks. These are people you are linking from your wiki. Your page ranking and search engine results are affected not only by who you link, but how you link them. An example is, if a site is over 6 months old and has a page rank of 0, remove the link. It is either abandoned behind a security firewall, or they banned it. This is because it's really hard to keep a page rank 0 for 6 months. You've pretty much not had the site online for 5 of those months. Large corporations, they don't need your link status. If you want to link to a CNN article, put no follow on it. Wikipedia or MediaWiki will usually do that for you. However, because of this automated no follow added to them, I recommend a custom solution for removing it. I looked myself and there were quite a few, well, 4 or 5 extensions for getting rid of the no follows on certain links. This is good if you're linking anybody in this room. So if you guys want to trade links on the websites or link each other, or articles that people have written on their wikis, get rid of the no follow, give them some of your traffic status, and link them how you want to be linked. As in, if you don't know how they want you to refer to their site, look at the page title, take out some words, and link them how you would like to be linked. Now, this is one of the more controversial slides that I didn't know if I wanted to keep in, mainly because all of our test cases have proven it, either it works or doesn't work, and that is true. So, I wish I could be more forthcoming, but that's about it. So you can try to improve your pages with semantic tags. The silver lining of this is if you actually use any of these, you can always go back and write a custom extension that populates the uniqueness of your page when it comes to your keyword tags, your meta tags, your description tags. That's always going to be a pain to go in there and do by hand, but if you mark up your page this way, you can actually auto-generate those descriptions and keywords, and who knows, you may be ahead of the curve on what's coming. Personally, I think it is the future of how search engines are going to do a lot of the work, but as I said, our statuses, even looking around this morning, whether LinkedIn or Amazon or any of the Yelp sites, we're still getting specialty things off this. LinkedIn definitely doesn't, Yelp kind of does, it's weird. But here's an example of how Amazon's running it. They're doing H review, and they're using the XML attribute tags to generate their listings. And that actually does work. If you're searching for something dead on, and you include Amazon, or Amazon's the only one with it, you'll actually see their ad appear on Google, like right below the paid place, but before the organic results. And they'll have the 5 stars and a little blurb. So there is some reading going on. Whether you have to be Amazon or not to get that status is still a matter of debate. You generally have to be Amazon to get that status. But popular formats include the RDFA, Google Rich Snippets, that's what you'll see on most of the Yelps. Or whenever you're on Google Maps and it says rate, review, it shows the info, that's the rich snippets being used. Good Relations, that was developed by somebody we know. Martin, yeah. And that's actually been standardized by Google. A lot of people use Good Relations, it got really far. I think that Good Relations is probably going to be one of the key ones. Yahoo SearchMonkey, that was an older framework. I'm not sure if it's still running. But they may turn it back on.
I thought they killed it with the Bing.
Maybe did. I'm sure Bing will co-opt the technology and say they invented it. And off that we have HCalendar, HCard, and HReview. That's probably as important as Good Relations, just because this is what all the major sites are using. HCard, LinkedIn uses that. HReview, you can see being used right there. It's just a common set of properties and formats that are generally looked upon and filtered out. But again, not actually proven to render consistent results across websites. So I think one day it will. I think the best way to use this is to do it because we're in the semantic field, and then write an extension or use an extension written to populate the tried and true methods of keywords, meta tags with these. Then we're not only using our information to fill out the old methods, we're also got new methods if it ever actually does work for us. So, track and improve important pages. We got surprised because we thought other pages would be linked higher. But Google, in all of its infinite abstract wisdom, decided to choose one of our help pages. On this help page says nothing more but a small blurb of what Semantic MediaWiki is, nothing about our site or our project or what is on smwforum.enterprise. It's basically one big link toward SMW, which is nice if you have that, but I would actually like our site to tell a little bit about our product too. So this is a course manual page that's on the first page for one of our keyword terms, Semantic MediaWiki. But the current content should not be modified. Obviously, Google likes it for a reason. In fact, I would keep it on the same place of the page, in the same prominence. Outlinks to this page should be removed or kept few and relevant. If you have a bunch of pages to major corporations and no-follows, if you link a bunch of dead sites, get rid of all of that, because obviously a lot of traffic will be coming through that page. You don't want it leaving that page through dead links. Links to internal targeted sections should be added and made visible for the page. This goes back to what I was saying, how we didn't even have a download or talk about our product. Even if it was a listing at the bottom of the page of, if you like Semantic MediaWiki, try our download page. That would help quite a bit. And semantic markup should be added to the page body and refined for the keyword giving a page rank. Again, results may vary, but I would add it to that page because obviously it's a good testing ground. If you know that page always appears in the search engine, it can't hurt to add the semantic markup and then come back to the search engine result every now and then and see if it's actually doing anything. So finally, don't cheat the search engines. With the risk comes reward until you are banned. And when you are banned, it is exceptionally hard to get unbanned. The unbanned emails go nowhere. I'm pretty sure they're thrown away. So what's the quickest way to get banned? Link farming. This is the tried and true practice of buying 6,000 domains, pointing them all at the same Amazon instance or the same block of web servers back in the day, and then basing them all around one code base with different skins. Or if you're lazy, just keeping a white background and linking yourself again and again and again in different ways. People try to obfuscate this by linking a block of sites, but their site will always be in there in some way of doing it. Or these sites are owned by people that are paying the link farmers. And no, they cannot get you linked on 500 page 4 websites for $99 without owning a link farm or degrading the page rank of naive blog owners. Before wikis came up in the early 2000s, before blogs, when people were generally making their own sites, there were quite a few people that would troll the internet and offer you $600 for 3 months to put 50 links at the bottom of your site. That's what they were doing. They were selling in links to PR4 blogs, and $99 for 50 sites coming in validates a $600 for 3 months. So that actually brought a lot of the old style blogs and websites down in rank quickly because they were involved in that practice. Cloaking. Cloaking is when you display one thing to an SE spider and then another thing to the user. This used to be a common practice until Google, I don't know if they've always had the technology or they turned it on, where they'll actually screenshot your site of what the user sees from a browser, and they'll compare it themselves to what you showed them. This even counts for mobile phones nowadays. So if you have a mobile news site, you need to not show them different things just because you think the phone version is better. One thing I would do for mobile phones though, if you have an extremely intensive news feed that is all dynamically rendered, there's an old form of HTML called the WAP deck, or WAP. It's just really cut down HTML. I would actually show that to the news spider with options, or to the mobile spider, because technically it's still a version of your site in HTML format, but you're actually showing it something instead of just a dynamic feed that's never going to be there because it's a spider. On top of that, off-page linking and spamming. Search engines understand if your div is positioned off the browser and if your display is set to none. That's not clever. People know, search engine knows how big the window is and when you put it 1,000 pixels to the right. Now, there is one side caveat to that, menus. Don't use JavaScript to dynamically generate your window and pull it down because then it can't see the window to navigate your menu to navigate your site. However, being the drop-downs are important, you do have to use div none. What I do is I explicitly wrap these in the HTML5 nav tag, even if I'm using the for site. Or I'll use headers, or I'll use class names and IDs in menu, nav, and navigation. Don't worry about the HTML5 nav tag not validating. If your browser is actually that sensitive, you're probably part of a botnet already. So don't worry about that. Limitations of SEO and MediaWiki. It was created to be functional and not always popular. This goes back to a point Yaron made yesterday of how once it's installed, it is one big blank canvas. And that canvas is not always easily made to be searchable and usable. One of the problems is pages titles are bound to the article title, namespace, and URL. There's extensions to fix that, but you have to do it by hand. There's no way by default to define meta descriptions and keyword listings within the article. Currently, you're placing it across the entire site without a specific extension. No follow attributes are either always on or always off. You cannot create a special listing of people and there's no special tags to turn it on or off. Most of the wiki can be classified as duplicate content, so always do the robot text and site XML files. Irregular entrance points, as certain articles gain in popularity with no consideration for the entire topic of the wiki. This goes back to the help manual idea. If a page gets popular, or if you think it's part of a popular section, include some type of navigation across the bottom or top of your wiki articles. Whether it's a static template for that namespace, or a template across the entire site, or even just a bottom row of navigation. And wikis are extremely easy to spam, which somebody showed me a couple spam bots he wrote this morning. Some very clever ones. Okay. So search engine webmaster accounts. This is almost the last slide here. And that analytics track, all of these links are made to get your submissions rolling. These are actually taken into account, and I would say probably 5% of webmasters actually use them, even though every major search engine says if you're building a website, come and put it here first and we'll start indexing immediately. So why these are ignored, who knows? Same with DMOZ. What people don't understand about DMOZ is on Yahoo, Bing, and certain pieces of Google, if you have an old enough or a good or a community recognized entry, your description may very well be pulled from DMOZ. So that's something, that description that's underneath the Google Yahoo things for websites. Bulk sitemap submission. MediaWiki in the maintenance directory has a sitemap generator. Run it and put the main file in here, and then everybody will know about your website. And region-specific search engines. So Yandex and Baidu are Russia and China. If that's your market, go for it. However, if you're really specific, like you want a Portuguese, Hungarian, and Puerto Rican market, here's the full listing of countries and which search engines they mainly use. In fact, that is such a thorough link, you can pretty much spend a month on there trying to find what you're targeting and not actually putting a wiki up. It goes very in-depth about the markets and who uses what and how to find them. SEO tools and wiki suggestions. This is where I compiled a lot of this information. SEO Warrior, that is kind of the de facto book. Go to his e-site if you're interested and buy his ebook because it updates a lot faster than O'Reilly publishes them. And because of the ever-changing tactics of people trying to get money on their website, it's important to at least keep up enough. It's got updated versions of all of his Perl scripts and site-wide statistics compilation. So as linking structures change and as Google updates their listings, he updates his tools so you can easily scan through. These tools, his Perl scripts also work with these sites that we lined up here. Analytics tracking, 1 to 2 online accounts like Google Analytics, if you're not in Germany. 1 to 3 server-side systems. I use the Splunk SEO app. Splunk is a server-side log parser. They have an SEO app that just blows all the other tracking out of the water. And you still get the server-side monitoring if you want to rip through more complex log files. There's also PWIC and OSTATs. Those are those cookie cutter statistics things you've seen to give unique and bandwidth and where you're coming from and who's seen your site. Just a big static listing of the page comes out every month. MediaWiki extensions, advanced meta, and add HTML meta to title. These are the 2 most prominent ones I've seen for adding descriptions, keywords, and titles by page within your article. Somebody please create an SEO-centric skin or update existing skins. That would be worth money.
Have you looked at the RDFA extension for Semantic wiki done by the RPI folks?
Did we mention that on the RPI and our last? Yeah, I believe that was a bullet point on our last profile, but I have personally not, or I can speak with Jesse. And on top of that, administration tools for bulk renaming files and pages complete with 301 redirects. It is annoying to have to put colon or pound redirect on every page I want redirected. I would like to just give me a list of pages, give me a list of topics and files, and move them all into new names. And finally, SEO tracking pay services. There's SEO Moz and Optify.net. They both have extensive suites of $99 to $9,999 a month, depending on what you want to pay. Questions, comments, ideas, complaints? Would you like to know more?
A question about images. We're super image heavy, obviously. And we do get a lot of images with randomly generated filing.
Yes.
So, aside from forcing the user to make descriptive file names, should we be putting descriptive information in the summary of the image, in the caption and the thumbnail, and the caption and the gallery? Where is the best place to put the descriptive information about an image of Line Cat, for example?
Yes. In your personal case, knowing the subject matter, I would track popular pages because you probably have so many images coming in, there's impossible for you to get every page. I would rename those files and relink them on those ultra popular pages. I would also pay attention to the analytics tracking. As major topics come up across the internet, you start find those pages, fix them all.
So actually rename the images,
Yes.
Okay.
Rename the image file. Alt tag is a normalized version with spaces and readable. And then the title tag would be LimeCat MediaWiki page, or LimeCat article, or whatever relates to that entire section that you're speaking to.
Okay.
Yep. And I know it's going to be such a big job for your wiki that you're pretty much caught in the tracking popular pages or pages I want to make popular.
So we can manipulate the user actions a little bit to force them by, shaming or publicly pointing at them to make them make descriptive file names.
Yeah.
But that is an important thing.
Exactly. Yes. Descriptive file names, use alt tags, use title tags. Next, Ron.
I actually wanted to hear from the internet people about your experience with RDFA because I thought it's actually worked out for you.
We see it get picked up a little bit with descriptions from Google traffic inbound, and then they're also doing caching now of an actual image of the pages. And we see some of odd portions of the site will actually come up as the description of the page. It wouldn't be necessarily what you think of to be the description as the first part of the page. Actually down we have some other summaries that's actually showing up within the image that the Google can.
Yeah, the actual preview image. It's taking their semantic markup up and overlaying it over that image.
It's like a little magnifying glass icon next to your search results. You mouse over that, it's showing the semantic data.
But we're still pretty sloppy with it. We're just kind of bring those together, right?
And anybody else?
Oh, actually, I had one other question, which is, I thought with the whole meta tag thing, I thought meta tags were basically being ignored now by search engines.
Title and description, no. Keywords, yes.
Okay.
Generating keywords never hurts. Actually, for some of the smaller search portals, they'll put more weight on it just because they don't have enough submissions to actually be picky. Or, they got more computer than they have websites, so they'll put more time into that. It also comes down to a labor of honesty. If you've got 1,000 people linking your site, and you link yourself this way, and your site is got the H1 tags in context for it, the description tags of keywords start meaning a lot more to search engines because it means you're being honest. And also just not overdoing it.
I heard
10
one-
keywords are more powerful than 10,000.
I think at one point if you jam too many keyword into your
Then it's just tossed.
yeah, exactly.
Just
Context for yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the main thing is be honest with what you're actually selling, or have a set of 20 to 50 keywords that you use consistently across the website, and you have other people use coming to you, because that's the honesty factor of the internet.
Yeah, I'm just interested. I googled SMWCon Spring 2011, and it extracted general info, tutorial day, conference days, registration. Do you know how that came about?
Because you used
H1?
because it probably grabbed the menu first, and you had no context on it to tell it what it was looking for.
I think I don't know. Google could actually do the traffic, click through. I don't think we have settings for that, right? I don't see that.
I'm sure if you look at the page markup,
I
there's
think they're all section headers.
section headers that
Section
grab the
headers,
H1s.
Okay.
You can actually control that with the description tags and linking through and having the nav menu wrapped all up and those kind of things. But actually too, all those nav links you see at the bottom of Google, for those usually only come up on top level domains for somebody searching exactly for it. You get the register, go here, download, those 4 to 8 links that are at the bottom of major websites. You can get those for yours. Go to the Google Webmaster and specify them. But unless somebody is directly looking for you, you're not going to really get those. Anything else?
Sorry, by directly looking for you, you mean that you're going to be it's almost the exact match code word.
Yeah, like for us, we need SMW plus in the site, or Semantic MediaWiki plus, all spelled out.
In the query.
Yeah, in the actual query to get that menu. And I'm sure when you type in Semantic MediaWiki, you get the semantic-mediawiki.org website with its linkings on it.
And it's just because of the URL match.
Yeah, the context is so strong that Google just assumes you're going somewhere in the site and not to the site specifically.
Yeah.
All right, let's eat.